Hey guys, today we're going to start talking about rational numbers. Again, a rational number can be expressed as a fraction. So this includes our integers, our fractions, and our decimals. These notes today really look like the notes that we took last time in class, except instead of adding, now we're subtracting. And you're going to find out that a lot of our steps are really just the same thing. So for subtracting fractions, again, you do want to find a common denominator. Change the fractions so the denominators match. Subtract the numerators, keeping the denominators the same. And then at the end, make sure you are simplifying your fractions. So if we look at this first one here, I have 3/4 minus 1/4. So again, we do want to look to make sure, all right, do I have common denominators? They both are already 4. I actually don't have to do much work here. I can just simply go into it and say, all right, what's 3 minus 1, which is 2. And then I'm keeping my denominators the same, which is 4. Now, this is not my final answer. I do have to go through and simplify. The top and bottom are even numbers, so I can divide them by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and then 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1/2 is my final answer. Looking at this one here, I have 3/7 minus 2/3. My common denominator will be 21. I got that by just multiplying the 7 and the 3 together. So I do need to go ahead and multiply this first fraction by 3 to the top and bottom. 3 times 3 gets me 9. 3 times 7 gets me 21. The second fraction, I need to multiply the top and bottom by 7. 2 times 7 is 14. And then my 3 times 7, or 21. Now I need to go ahead and subtract my numerators. So really I'm dealing with 9 minus 14. Now when we're subtracting two integers, I should be using LCO. So I'm going to leave 9, change the minus to a plus, and then take the opposite of my second number. So really I have 9 plus negative 14. Because I have two different signs, I'm going to have to subtract these numbers. 14 minus 9 equals 5. However, 14 is the bigger number, and it is negative. So negative 5 is the difference of those two numbers. So back up here to this problem. Subtracting my numerators, I do get negative 5. And again, we need to keep our denominators the same, 21. So my final answer is negative 5 over 21. Checking, does it need to be simplified? No, 5 is a prime number and can't go into 21. This one. Again, I do need to make sure I get a common denominator. For this one, again, I can multiply 11 and 5 and get 55. I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of this one by 5 to get 50 over 55. And then of this one over here, I'll be I'll be multiplying by 11. Negative 3 times 11 is negative 33. And 5 times 11 gives me 55. Now that I have common denominators, I can go ahead and just subtract my numerators. Again, looking at it, I do have this problem actually set up right now. So I could go ahead and use LCO again. So I'm going to leave the 50 alone, change the minus to plus, and then take the opposite of negative 33, which is positive 33. So the problem I'm actually dealing with is 50 plus 33, or 83. So my final answer for this problem is 83 over 55. Is there any numbers that can go to the top and bottom? No. So you can leave it at 83 over 55. If you want to change it to a mixed number, you can go ahead and do that. It should equal to 1 and 28 over 55. I hope that's correct. All right. Moving on down here. I have 3 1/2 minus 3 1/8. Just like when adding, we do have to change these guys into improper fractions. So I'm going to take the whole number and multiply it by the denominator, and then add that to the numerator. So 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7, over 2. For this one, again, same thing. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25, over 8. I'm subtracting them. Now that I have my two improper fractions, I do need to go ahead and find a common denominator. In this case, I can actually use 8. If you want to multiply them together to get 16, go ahead and do that. You will have some simplifying to do at the end, though. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom here by 4. 4 times 4 equals 28. 4 times 2 gets me 8. And this fraction here, I could multiply the top and bottom by 1, but it would just leave me with 25 over 8. 28 minus 25 is 3. And I leave my denominator the same, so 3/8 is my final answer. Okay. I do want you guys to try the remainder 4 problems here for my fractions. I will have answers posted tomorrow. Please make sure you check those. Please make sure you send me emails with questions. Decimals, the one we like the most. Here I have 1.432 minus 1.34. Again, we do need to make sure that we have our decimals lined up when we're setting these up. Because I have a blank area here, I can put a 0. And now I can go ahead and subtract. 2 minus 0 is 2. Can't do 3 minus 4, so I do have to borrow from this 4 over here. 13 minus 4 is 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. And 1 minus 1 is 0. So my final answer is 0.092. For this problem, I have negative 3.25 minus negative 0.211. I could go ahead and just start using LCO. So I'm going to leave the first number, change the minus to a plus, and then take the opposite of the last number. Because I have different signs going on here, I will subtract these two numbers. The 3.25 is the bigger number, so I'm going to put him up top. And this number is the smaller one, so he'll go on the bottom, making sure we line up our decimal points. Throw in a 0 because there's an empty space there. 0 minus 1, I do need to borrow. So now I have 10 minus 1, which is 9. 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. 3 minus 0 is 3, making sure I remember my decimal. Now this is not my final answer. Going back to this part right here, the bigger number again is 3.25, which is negative. So my final answer is negative 3.0039. This problem, again, I could do LCO, negative 3.2, change that to plus, and then it's the opposite, which is negative 6.32. I am adding two numbers with the same sign, so I can go ahead and just add these two numbers together. 3.2, 6.32. I have an empty spot here. I can put a 0 in there, and now I can just go ahead and add up and down. 0 plus 2 is 2, 2 plus 3 is 5, and 3 plus 6 is 9. Making sure our decimals are lined up. So I can drop a decimal right there. Looking back at this step, I do have two negative numbers that I'm adding together. So my final answer should be negative 9.52. Okay, make sure you finish up these 4 problems. Again, I'll have answers for you guys tomorrow and some practice problems for you guys to work on tomorrow as well. Okay, bye.